hasn't been able
Crawl
to.
on. Crawl.
Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome. Pass the cookies.
Jan got us all set up.
Pass the cookies, Jan.
Thank you.
Hey, Chad, Jason.
What?
What should I?
Do you want some?
Not yet.
There's
Pass them
chips.
around.
There's chips there too. If anyone wants chips.
Oh.
Mike giving you a crash course?
Yeah, this is our first day.
This will be a warm part.
Can I ask you a question before we get started? How accurate are your numbers? The reason why I ask you is because this is like 2 months behind. So I wasn't sure if you're like, oh yeah, these are updated as of May 1.
Like, I guess define accurate, like,
It's okay. We'll figure it out.
as far as like the actual, I don't know, because I only have what Lexi gave me,
Okay.
which was it April when you gave? Or March?
Okay.
So
we're
the
the same.
actual numbers are March, and then whatever's beyond that, I
Okay.
have
Just like the rest of them.
You're fine.
since then, so I guess if that answers your question-ish.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna start.
I don't know, it's wherever you guys wanna start, so so I did an update, cause we have, okay, so like, we have matting, so that shows her in here. One of our applicants, I ended up taking out, which isn't reflected on this, Myeroff, cause he failed his psych eval. But we have 2 applicants. So if you see in the yellow at the bottom where it says GIN, so they're a certified officer, so they would come in a little higher. And with her college degree, so that number changed a little bit from what's in the book, because I did this a couple of weeks ago when I put this together. So between her stuff and potentially GIN, and mind you, we still have to do the background, all the stuff on that. So the red is slightly higher than what was budgeted. So
So are you asking for another raise?
since you're asking, so when we put this together in the pay study, and the reason I budgeted for it, I'm not asking, but the reason I budgeted this way is, remember, instead of doing it by the anniversary date, we were doing it by July 1 for everybody.
The steps you're talking?
Yeah, so, on the steps. So that's why I budgeted it that way, and I put it in there to look at it that way.
So is this everybody's proposed step increase? Is that what this is?
So green is current, and then if we follow what we're doing with July 1,
That's
that
what
would be the
they'll vote to.
proposed.
So that's what each of these showing the next step up. is that
Yep.
right?
Next step up.
Which I thought, was that already calculated in these numbers?
Mike did his.
Mike, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what, because I haven't seen what Lexi gave you guys, so I don't know.
Well, I just know
Literally
for-
what you sent me is all I gave.
I was just questioning, because I know the other
Yeah.
ones are showing their normal step increases, so this one.
Yeah, so,
Just compared to the ones we've just.
so the proposed is the normal step, the 2.5,
Gotcha.
following what we did with the step pay increase stuff. All right, so how you guys want to start? So this page here is kind of just breaking down the lines a little bit, unless you want to go line by line. It is your preference.
Line by line is, I guess, is easy.
Okay.
Then we can kind of bounce to this one. That's just
Okay,
me.
So, 1051, 100 through 180, that's your personnel stuff. So salaries, wages, accrued wages, impacts, overtime. In the impact overtime, I didn't put anything in there. I reached out to the folks down in Cheyenne with Industrial Sitting Commission. None of the projects that we have testified for and been approved for are starting in this budget according to them. So I zeroed those out. So when you look at I color coded it. So the 25, 26, you'll see that we did have some money budgeted in there. So there was under 111 was 56,000 and 105 was 9,000. So that's why those are zeroed out. I left the overtime where it's at. Again, actual, like we're at 22, well, as of March, so I know there's more overtime that's been taken out. So I don't know, like, we've been short-staffed, we're short-staffed. Now, granted, I'm covering shifts right now, I'm salary, so we don't pay me overtime. But like Norm, Blue, Bree will be seeing some overtime between now and the end of, June. So my thought was leave it at 40,000. We'll have, a couple new hires. So Severson, who formerly worked for us, he wants to come back. So he's going through the background process right now. And then if interviews on Friday, depending how that goes well. So that was my thought, 40,000. The medical, were we still at was it 16.8? I think is what you were telling me, or roughly.
Oh, I don't know. Is that the number I gave you?
I think so, because that's what I put in here. Because I know we were like 14 and some change.
1450.
And I know you were talking like an 8 to 9% increase or something, and you threw out like 16.8-ish. So that's what I put in here. I don't know what the actual number ended up being, so that if it's lower than that changes that number.
It's, well, for dental and vision and the medical, it's 1444.24. But some of those fluctuate a little bit depending on what package was picked. And I'm not sure how many people that's based on. So,
Okay. So technically that number would probably be lower than the 16.8, because I know you were talking increase. So if we're at 1444, and pull a calculator out, if you want to run it through your head right now. So at 16.8. So let's cowboy math it and just say 1,500. So that would end up being only 15.3. So 15, if we say 15.3, because if some have higher or different whatevers at 13, that's 198.
times 13 full-time,
Yeah.
198.
198, 300. And so at what's on here, that would be 19,100 difference. So it'd be lower by 19.1. If we use the lower number than what I put in.
It'd be like 28. Are we looking at the same?
I got 3 different sheets. I don't know. What sheet are we on, Chief Thompson?
98.3.
Say it again.
198.3 under health. So, sorry, I'm running off this one for health for each employee. Where on this one over here, it's, you kind of got, because I included pretty much everything in
Yeah.
health. Where over here it's broke out, where you have medical, dental, life,
Workman's comp.
or,
Yeah.
yeah, right here, so.
So you're saying we got 218,400. Both of our budget sheets are showing 226,000 for that, so that is 8,000 lower is what I'm hearing.
I went with the number she gave me, the
I
16.
understand, I'm just trying to make sense because there's
Yeah.
so many different pieces here.
Yeah, and the
So-
so the 226, was that calculated with that other position still in play?
I honestly don't know. I don't remember.
Because that
With
was
the
in the
time frame.
old budget, because we wouldn't pay that in the,
Unless you took the 217,932 times 9%, maybe? I don't know.
226.
I think we're gonna have to have this redone.
6.
Yeah, that's,
Because I'm not gonna feel comfortable no matter where we're at here, and what this number's gonna be in the end.
yeah, I don't know where that 226 came from. So, anyways. So other than medical, I think the rest of, like FICA's and workman's comp, those are all calculated in. Retirement, that put that in. So at the bottom of this one is the overtime, so the overtime and then whatever the FICA workman's comp retirement kind of fit. It can vary because if Norm's working an overtime versus say our new hire here, like that's gonna change, but it's hard to predict because I can't tell you who's gonna have overtime for the next 12 months.
Did you mean not to put anything in 190?
9 years.
Employee selection and hiring.
Yeah, we haven't put anything in there since 2022.
Okay.
I don't remember why there was something in 2022. So professional services, and I think maybe that's what we did, is we started moving into professional services because like it's your psych eval and medical clearing stuff. So to answer your question, yes. All right, dues, so you ready to move on to dues and subscriptions? All right, so that line went up from what we've been at. Some of that is the report narrative AI that we just adopted, so that's a dues and subscriptions. So when you flick over to that, so under the section, it kind of talks about all the different things that we're paying for. So we got risk.net, ILFE, IACP, ICP.net, Adobe Pro. So Adobe Pro DC, records clerk uses heavily because they do redactions with reports. So when people are requesting reports and they need redactions, so she uses that. The PMI evidence is in the evidence room for the tracking of evidence in cases. Guardian Alliance is a new thing that we've started using for our background checks. A lot of the agencies use that now. It tracks, Casper PD uses it, Highway Patrol, Gillette Jackson. It's sped up quite a bit of our time doing background checks because, as an example, if Dacia puts all of you down as references, the program, instead of having to send individual emails to all the references and stuff, you can blanket everybody through the PHQ. It tracks the percentage of where you're at in the backgrounds and stuff. So ICP.net is, so you got policies, basically there's, I forget how many thousands of policies that are available to look through. So anytime we look at policies, there's forms in there. So if you're dealing with employee issues, new cases, it's a networking with other chiefs and sheriff's tool, kind of stuff. Let's see. the Leads Online, which I didn't put in the description, but Leads Online is the one we use. So anytime we like a shopping, or not shopping, but a theft issue. So say Chad gets a tool or something stolen with a serial number, Leads Online. So statutorily, all the pawn shops have to report to it. So we can go in and search. We had one really good case. It was a hit in Lincoln, Nebraska with tools that were stolen out of a trailer. So it kind of shows the reach that Leads goes to. So that's dues and subscriptions. Any other questions? Okay, registrations and training. So that's all our training. Now, we did budget 20,000. We didn't use 20,000 because we didn't really get anybody to the academy, because that was part of why we budgeted for that with the new hires. That was a hard one to really budget for, because we do training. We've got some open positions, and so I kind of back and forth, and I said, well, I settled on 15, so it's a little bit less, with the idea of and filling these positions. If we have one or two that need to go to the academy, we have that. Plus, we have some for the advanced training that we'll do throughout the year. You know,
How much is the academy?
we had that discussion last year. It's around like 3,400 or something. I don't remember exactly. You got to buy like the frangible ammunition, whether you buy it for the agency or you pay the academy, plus there some meals and whatever.
Just traditionally, we haven't cleared 10 on that line item.
Yeah, it's been a struggle the last couple of years with short staffing to get people. And now the caveat, we just lost 2 pretty senior people who have a lot of positions that need replaced. So like former Officer Hawes was our custody control instructor. He was our evidence room custodian and an FTO, and so with bringing in, backfilling all these new positions, somebody's going to have to start stepping in those roles, and it takes training and money to get them trained in those positions. So now, will some of these people do it in the next 12 months? If we can get them filled, potentially, if somebody who's certified and gets off TFTO, so like Officer Welch, when she gets off her FTO, wants to do the evidence room. So in, I guess, July, they have an EvTech room or an EvTech class in Casper, and then we'll have to do an evidence room custodian class. So she would be one coming into that.
I guess I'm curious.
Could we go to 12 on that one?
We're at 5 now. Could any of that be used out of this year's money to be paid for, which would allow us to lower that next year?
Probably not at this point, because a lot of that stuff's so far out, it would be hard for me to plan and pay for it and guarantee somebody being there. I worked pretty hard to cut back, because my initial submission was 77,000 less than the current budget to cut back, and that was part of that. Looking at numbers and trying to make it realistic, and training was the hardest one, because it's something we have to do, we need to do. So I don't know, if we want to kind of stew on it, come back to that maybe as we move through this.
I think with all the new hires and, you guys are at half staff, and the requirements of trying to get all these people back certified, back to where we were, I think we need to keep it at that 15 is where I'm at, of just, we're gonna have such a big intake in people, and trying to get all of these people certified to where we were. I feel like it's gonna be a big year in training, trying to get everybody back to where they should be, because we lost so many.
Kind of pivoting off of what Chad brought up, so like Luke. So Luke and I are the CVSA examiners. We got our research extended. So 2 weeks ago, I went to Boulder. Luke is paid for, but the travel and hotel and that stuff will come out of this budget we're talking about, even though the training's paid for. So that one, yes, some of it's paid for in this budget. because it wasn't feasible for both of us to go to Boulder with short staffness. So he's extended to go to the Salt Lake research, which is in the next budget. Moving on, lodging and meals, that's typically tied to the registration. It's probably low for the cost of that anymore.
Can you put that at 0?
No, you should be at,
Where at?
1,800.
1,800.
yeah.
Oh, I'm off one. I was looking at,
Yeah,
Yep.
so we're now, this 1330 actual doesn't reflect like going to Boulder with the hotel
Right,
and
it's a little too much behind.
yeah, so it's behind. So we're honestly, we might be slightly over that line, just from me going down there at this point. But I, again, trying to be conservative because trying to do some here, and if Luke's the only one that's traveling outside, like going to Boulder, I mean, outside of the fuel going down, I paid for everything else out of my own pocket going down. I paid for the meals that's on town. Again, that's a conservative number. It's probably going to be under to a degree. Office supplies, so I upped that a little bit. So again, that's, pens, paper, ink, like kind of, all the stuff that you use in the office. Kind of searching the internet, looking at the pundits, there's a projection of 2.5% increase in office supply costs. Some of that, due to tariffs and or whatever's driving the market. The higher fuel costs right now, at some point will change some of those costs. I can't predict it. And I think where we're at.
Currently at 2,700, last year we spent 3,600.
Yeah. No, I just was 200 and whatever, and again, actual isn't correct, because I've been buying some more than normal because we're over there versus here. So if you want to lower it, we can. I think actual, we're probably closer to 4 right now ish without really going through the numbers.
Well, as you get back closer to full staff, that's gonna go up too,
Correct.
usage, so.
Yeah.
I think what'll do, just leave it where it is.
Let's see,
My
printing.
opinion.
Let's see, printing, 3,000, so where are we, I don't know what the actual is, because I just spent, where's printing, that's 310. So I know that the actual is not actual. So I just spent $700. We're getting some new door stickers for Ian to use for nuisance abatements and stuff. We're gonna try something instead of the carbon copy stuff and trying to use tape. We're gonna go to a self-adhesive type sticker that will stick to the door versus having to carry tape and stuff. So we've got that expense, and then there's something else that we just ordered. Was it warnings? Yeah. So I think printing, and again, as we get back to staff, that'll get used up more. Safety equipment uniforms, I left it where it's at. I know that actual isn't totally accurate because I just between Welch, there's probably 600 or 700 in uniform stuff that we just spent for Welch that we didn't have. Our new gal sitting behind me here, there's some stuff I'm gonna have to order for her because we don't have pants in her size. But again, with new hires, not knowing what we will or won't have that fits, those people come in, we'll have to outfit them a little bit. Let's see. So safety equipment, like handcuffs and, batons and flashlights, that's kind of the stuff that comes out of that. Telephone, that's the data for the MDTs. I haven't seen any increases coming from AT&T. They haven't said anything, so that should be a pretty solid number. If anything, probably could decrease that because that one position, we won't need the data for that MDT, and it's 40. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to think about how much that is. It's like 40. Is it $42 a month per line of service?
I'm not sure, I just see the total bill.
Let's just say 40 times 12. So technically, we could probably reduce that line by, say, $480, give or take. I didn't calculate that at the time because I wasn't thinking about that. I was just looking through the budget. Yeah, so we could take out $480 there. I think that would be comfortable. Postage.
Did you say 408 or AD?
80?
80.
480. Yeah.
Which line did you?
Excuse me?
Telephone.
Which line?
Telephone?
330.
Postage, I reduced that some because we were at 600. Actual was 3, whatever's been spent over the last couple of months. With the door stickers and stuff, that may not need to go up any. And so I kind of left it reduced from the 600 we initially budgeted last year. And then beyond like nuisance stuff, any certified letters that we have to send people with cases or anything, it's kind of what that covers. First aid supplies. Part of the reason that's down, because we haven't been downstairs in our normal working area for a while. So those medical people aren't needing to refill those things, the boxes and stuff downstairs. So that's why that number's lower. If at some point we ever get normalcy back and not living in chaos. So I left 500 in there just because those things will get used at some point.
You'll need to catch up at some point.
Probably. Yeah. The professional services. So we budgeted 1,200. Now mind you, so we're at 57.97 back in March. Since then, I've got 2 psych evals because another one I just turned in today. So I kind of looked at it and said, all right, well, we've got a couple positions refilled, a couple more, so I budgeted 4,000. Trying to just be conservative in that number. There's a chance we could go over it at the end because I can't predict who will, Meiderhoff, we didn't think he was going to be an issue. So far, everything in the background was looking good. And then 2 days ago, I got the email when he did a psych eval and it says unsuitable. And so at that point, we're the guardian, we paid, we got that expense. And looking at his psych eval, it's a good thing that he was found unsuitable because they found some issues. So could we go up? We probably could, but I'm just trying to be conservative with it. Vehicle expenses. This is a really hard one for me to.
You keep breaking stuff.
It's not that we're breaking it. It's Dodge. I don't think I will ever buy another freaking Dodge vehicle ever. So we had the one with the transmission issue that sat up at Fremont for a year, 10 months. And then I took it down to Bob Brewer's and they said, oh yeah, you need a transmission. So corporate says, oh, well, because you picked it up from the dealer, it's out of warranty. And I said, well, your dealer said it was fixed and clearly it's not fixed. So we still ended up eating $1,700 on a transmission that should have been covered by them. Talked to Aaliyah quite a bit back and forth about getting the attorneys involved, and she's like, well, paying $1,700 is cheaper than me at 200 and whatever getting involved. So I elected to do it. Well, now it's back at Bob Ear's, because last week, while Ian's truck is sitting over here, while I decide what we're going to try to do with that thing, it was stuttering, like when you're braking and having issues. So they found some misfires and stuff, so they're looking at that. I also asked them to look at the torque converter, as they were doing all that stuff with the transmission. So we've got 71, and as we get back to the vehicle replacement side, so 71. Now, luckily, it was all covered warranty, but third engine, it's at 54,000 miles. And we have a kill switch, and I made them put a new battery in it when they did the last engine, because it sat there so long. It was like 4 months waiting on this new engine. So our battery got drained. They weren't making it charged. So they put a new battery in it. We brought it back over here. Seems to be running fine. It got parked because we don't have anybody to use it right now. So we hit the master kill switch. Even with that killing the entire vehicle, the battery is not holding a charge. I went over, I put jumper cables and a jump box on it. It was still not enough to turn that vehicle over. And with it being on its third engine, that's one of the ones I'm thinking we should probably think about getting rid of it. Because it's lower miles, we'll get a higher trade-in. We'll talk about that as we get later into it. Ian's truck, we just spent $12,000 putting a new engine in it. All the excessive idle time. So something I learned 2 weeks ago, interestingly enough, it was via an article about Chevy. So Chevy was talking about all their engines and their special patrol unit built stuff, engines blowing up and all this stuff. So they're equating, it was the excessive idle, and they did some research. So the oils in these new vehicles, like we're used to, most of us all have gray hair, right? Yeah. So old vehicles were like
Exception.
1030 and 1040 oil, weights in oil, right? The heavier oils. So the newer stuff is like 020, 520. So it doesn't stick as well. So after reading that article, I was like, wait a minute. So I went back and started researching the Dodge side of it, and oh my gosh, there it is. Because all these Dodges are either a 0 weight or 510 or whatever it is, which we've been following the specs per Dodge, right? Well, with that excessive idle, and the Hemis are not supposed to be idled according to all this reading, and they are suggesting, oh yeah, by the way, well, nothing's ever been put out by Dodge. This is, by the way, for cop cars, you should probably consider the 520 weight. So I learned that about that. So the Dodge, the truck, that was part of why the engine got replaced, was through the excessive idle time. So we did all that. I had them flush the transmission. So now there's something up with the shifter, which it could just simply be an ECM issue to some degree. So looking up ECMs, whatever the labor is, plus maybe $600 in the part. I don't know if that's the only issue. So I'm waiting until the one in Wheaton gets addressed before we take this one down, because I'm not going to use Fremont at this point anymore after all the problems we've had with them. So coming back to the equipment expense, we're over the line. I don't know what to predict, whether what's going to break down or not break or blow up in the next 12 months.
You're talking vehicles.
Vehicles, yeah, vehicle maintenance line.
So what you're saying is it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, I'd love to stay at 30 and say, yep. Now, the nature of what we do, public wants us to respond. We have to have vehicles working conditions.
We are looking at getting 2 new ones, right?
I am. So, and I equated that as I spent a month in my mind thinking about what to budget for this. Because I'm like, okay, if we replace 2 vehicles with the line, can we be lower? That was the idea of trying to keep our fleet modern, replacing them 2 a year. And we were doing really good till this last year. And we weren't having tons of repairs. So I kind of settled at the 35 because with the 32, which that, and that was a couple of months ago. So we're probably right close to that. And by the time we get this one back from Wheatland, we'll probably actually be over the 35 by the end of June. I'd love to be a lower number. I'm not crossing my fingers and holding my breath on it.
Even if we get 2 new ones, it's gonna take us a while to get them in and get them in action, so we're gonna have to keep what we got going till then. So I think we better keep it pretty close to what he's got down here, 35.
I mean, we can go lower, and then if we go over the budget later, like we might have to visit, I don't know, like, but that's why I put 35 in there, because I just, looking at the issues we've been having, like Norm's, so we have one unit, Norm's old unit, it's on its second engine at, I think there's 42,000 miles. These ones that are getting these engines, so there was that recall, was it 2 years ago? There was something to do with, there was some part that they had to change out that deals with the oil, whatever. I'm not gonna try to explain it right now, but so that unit, like, we have it. It's on its second engine. Right now, it's running fine. I'm not holding my breath with any of these. Like my unit is the only one that hasn't had a significant issue since we've owned it. Just recently, because when it got real warm there, 6-7 weeks ago, I hit the air conditioner and I started getting weird vibrations, and I was due for a battery because the original was not holding the charge very long. Like if I didn't disconnect the emergency equipment within a day, it wouldn't start. It wouldn't have enough. So and I didn't know that they have hydraulic engine mounts nowadays in these things. So it was 2,500 some change just for that one. So it's running good. I guess moving on while we're kind of stewing about numbers. So gas, I kept it where we're at. I mean, actuals a little, I mean, it's higher than where we're at. Now we've had some significant fuel spiking since these numbers came out. You know, Google can't predict, like when you get online, like you can look at all the markets and stuff. There's no prediction whether they'll keep going up, level out, or go down. So I just kind of stuck with a little percentage increase because there was some talk about a 1% to 2%. And again, bringing people on, like we'll be using more fuel.
There's too many variables involved
Yeah.
with trying to predict that, so
And
pick a
don't wanna-
number and run with it.
I don't want to be like highway patrol where we're just not patrolling because they're trying to dig out of an $8.5 million hole. So I left it at 41.2. I felt that was conservative, even with the fuel spikes right now, because by the time we onboard people, we could be into that new budget by the time we get anybody started with some of these other positions. Let's see, equipment expense. All right, so I gotta flip over to equipment. Let's see, there's equipment expense. All right. So like training ammunition, some of that stuff comes out of that. Evidence, supplies, like anytime we use evidence, we need to replace tape or bags or whatever. But also why I've upped that or kept it at the 50, my ask is 18. So looking through, we have some radars. So we just had the radar shop come in and do an annual certification. And it used to be done every year. I skipped it this year because in 8 years of being here, I think we've had 2 people ever request the radar certifications in court. So trying to save some money, I've moved to an every other year process. So this year, it was last budget we didn't do it. So this year we did it. Anyways, with that, we got some old radars that have been here for probably 14, 15 years, long before I got here. That radar, the digital readouts in them aren't working properly. One had a radar issue, and granted, we can get them fixed, but the cost of sending them in and those few components, we're spending half as much as just buying new ones. So I budgeted for some new replacement radars, and so that's why we're at the 18,000.
How much do those run, Mike?
You're gonna love this one. They're not cheap. So, Custom Signal, which is what we've been buying for the last units. Per unit, they're 28, 47, 89. And so I was looking at 3 units, which is 85, 43, 67. Now, I also looked at some, let's see if I put it in here. Stalker. All right. So Stalker, so the units so the ones that I want to replace have currently Stalker units. So I weighed out because they already have the cables in there. Well, the cables, would it be easier just to replace Stalker to Stalker? It could, but these cables have been in there. There's been a lot of heat bending. They've been through at least 2 units. We can go with Stalker. It's 77, 35, 50 for 3 units over there. What I'm hearing from the guys right now, they like the Custom Signals better. So
It's a $700 difference.
yeah, it's $700, and so I stuck with the Custom Signal because, well, and the other thing is Stalker. If you're looking at, they say lead time 45 working days, but they've been typically 60 to 90 days. And Custom Signal's been on queue, like I get them before 40 days with them from the ones we've been ordering. So that's part of why I did that. I also thought about so we've been talking about those speed signs. You can put up like fixed speed signs. I've been kind of back and forthing about putting one up here on Curtis. There's a pole kind of by the community center, just to kind of help get people slowing down. They're between 35 and $4,000. So that's a part of this equipment expense.
Don't do it. But I have a question for you, actually. So is the ammo that you guys that is being used at the training center different in a sense in the ordering from what you're using on this one under the equipment expense?
Are you talking like the brand?
Whatever. My thought
So-
is all my thought. I guess my thought is just that ammo should all come out of the equipment expense versus being split between 2. I understand that it's because it's at the academy versus here in town.
Well, even the academy stuff. Well, if we buy academy ammo, which I don't do because they buy junk, as an example. So a couple years ago, we had a couple people that went down there. We had brand new FN rifles that we bought here. And they went down there, it wouldn't function with their ammo. And the academy's like, oh, your rifles are junk. So I had them all bring their stuff up here. Casting, I went through them, we cleaned them. I gave them our frangible ammo. Absolutely no problems.
But for hers, to answer her question, you're not doubling it. So the
No.
academy costs are separate,
Yeah.
not including ammo.
Yeah.
Ammo is coming out
So-
of this one line item.
Yeah, so our frangible ammo that I buy would come out of the equipment line.
That goes to
Yeah. Correct.
Don't take it to the academy.
So we're not doubling that. Now, I have someone on hand. I don't think I would have to buy frangible for anybody that goes to the academy. I think I have enough downstairs for that. So the stuff that we would replace, so like today, Madden shot, I don't know, about 150 rounds, give or take. But last week we did a department spring qualification and an advanced shooting. And so between the few of us that are remaining right now holding the line, we shot about 2,000 rounds.
You're
right?
fine. I was just trying to
So-
think if we could reduce one of the 2 lines, but it's okay.
Yeah, and ammunition's going up. And actually, I used to buy Winchester white box out of California from the distributor because it was so much cheaper.
What is it?
But California, due to their laws and taxes, it was cheaper to buy from Utah. I can't think of the acronym of the company, but it was almost $60 cheaper to buy from them versus the California people. So it basically reversed, because it used to be the other way around. I could buy 50 rounds of white box for basically $10 out of California, but now it's significantly higher. So,
Okay.
yeah, with tariffs and all the other stuff, there's a projection of higher costs. Anyway, so that's the equipment expense, the base loads of it. Back up here. Vehicle licensing, I kind of just left it at, because that's the registration, or what did we pay? Because it says $63, but isn't it more than that for the last 2 units?
I'd have to go back and look. I think these are for the new units.
Yeah, and I know it says
The
63 actual,
Explorers.
but I didn't.
Yeah.
So I
don't-
threw $100 in line because it's vehicle registration. If we're doing units, we need something.
I think it's $10,
Um,
$10 a
Um,
tote.
Unintended expenditures, well, we've had a lot of that this year with not being in our workspace. One of the other unintended expenditures we had, LensLock, our dash camera provider. So we were having some struggles with downloading of stuff. So I've been nagging them for probably 8 months about, like, we've got to figure out how to get this to where it downloads better. So they came up with this new antenna and they sent them to us. So we had to, the antennas were their cost, but we had to pay for the labor. So some of that I took into an unintended expenditure in that line. And then with being up there, like, we were buying cords and stuff that we needed while we were up at the community center. So that's, for all those things we can't plan for, is best. Jail fees, well, that was another tough one because they can't ever seem to get them to us timely.
So we're behind in that right now, they're billing.
Yeah, I got a letter. So, and I gave this to Vicky, just so she's aware. So jail fees went up $3 a day, so we're at $154 per day now. We're still the most expensive county in the state to jail people. And unlike other counties like Cheyenne, so Laramie County doesn't charge Pine Bluffs as much as they charge, say, the city of Cheyenne. Same thing, like Gillette does the same. They don't charge as much. But here it's one cost across the board. We're just stuck with it. So I thought about doing like Evanston, so that when Evanston, so the sheriff's office did something similar down there. So the Evanston chief just started citing everything through the county court. So they're having a little spat down there, but I don't want to have that spat up here because we all play well and work well together. So I left it at 80 because I can't predict how many people may or may not go to jail in a year, and because we're so far behind. Our PSCC fees, I haven't seen anything from Lori if there's costs going up or down. I kind of took the actual and I divided that by the 7 months and said, well, here's where we're at. This is about what we're running. Now that number will probably go up as we get to staff, because when you have more staff, you have more traffic, et cetera. So I just kind of left it at 80 for now, not knowing what, or 115, sorry. So actually, well, I reduced it a hair. So I took some money out of that. The animal control line, we significantly reduced. So part of that change, so our part-time person, those wages, I rolled up into salary and wages, where initially I kind of had them down here. So it's going to basically cover some utilities, food.
So is that Brittany?
Yeah, Brittany at the
And-
bottom.
So, okay.
Yeah, so
She's
Ian,
in the general government scale, correct?
yeah, so Brittany's in there. Now, she didn't get, so when we did this pay raise stuff, she didn't get any pay raises through any of that. I didn't do that. I did look at, yeah, she's invaluable to what's working for us over there. So I did look at bumping her some, and that's part of why this is in here, to show that. And because because when we don't have any dogs, like we don't have any expense on the Brittany end. But between her and Susie, let me tell you, she's kind of nutty, but as a volunteer, those two are phenomenal at taking care of the animals over there. And so it's been amazing. Anyway, so animal control, so I dialed that one back quite a bit. The utilities were, they've been kind of minuscule, so some of the utilities would be in that. Let's see, the insurance, property and equipment, I think Janelle, I just stuck with because we're actual was 3150, and I think Janelle can answer that one better, so I put it at 32. I don't know if we'll need to up it or not. Maintenance service agreements, so our camera and our copier, that's what that is. So we have our body cams and our dash cams, that's at lease. And then the copier, we pay so much per month. So those are in that line. Reimbursables, that's officers buying equipment stuff that they're paying back. Janelle, coming back to maintenance and services, or not maintenance service, insurance, property and equipment.
That's for your property insurance for the vehicles.
Okay. So I put 3,200, we need to be up a little bit.
Probably won't know until June what the actual dollars are, because they're not due till the end of July.
Okay.
It's, I guess,
all right, so I guess until June we won't know. All right, and so then lastly, vehicles, capital improvements. All right,
Hold on just a moment.
Are we on maintenance, services and agreements?
which one?
Just talked about.
Going down,
Yeah,
maintenance, service and agreements?
yeah, that's lease for body cameras and dash cameras
Oh,
and
okay.
then, our Canon copiers, sorry, it's Capital, what's the name of the company, Capital, for the copier.
capital business systems.
Capital Business Systems, so that's what comes out of that line.
Why did it bump so much?
Well, when we first did this, so when Chad was mayor at the time, we did, was it 3 years up front?
Yeah, something like that.
Like 3 years up front,
Mhm.
because we had extra money in the budget. So this is it was the end of the 3 years.
Okay,
And this year is, by the way, and they didn't even give me, oh, by the way, this is the year, because there was
Some of that your lens lock too.
yeah, it's the lens lock. And so I got a little blindsided because they had a change in billing and then they didn't give us the notifications on their end. So that's why it's a jump. So vehicles, well, this was a challenging one because my intent was to get rid of the two oldest vehicles in the fleet, trying to keep our stuff updated. However, with 171 on its third engine, not keeping a charge, there's nothing more infuriating than trying to get in a car that won't start. So I feel like we should probably get rid of that one. And then the 16 Ford, which is at 100 and, well, it was 150,000. I think it's 156,000 miles now. So I felt like those would be the two to cycle out at this point. Talking to the dealer, the new Fords are right about the same price. We paid what, 49, basically 50,000. So I put 51 just as a kind of a buffer in there. So looking at trade-in values, you'll see, so 2021 Durango, Kelly Blue Book, you look at online, it says it's worth 24 to 30,000 trade-in. I'm going to say we'll probably be in the 20,000 range. I could be pleasantly shocked and get a little more out of it. The 16 Ford, the low end's 4,000, 7,000. So I'm going to stick with the 4,000. It's got some dings and some scratches on it over the years. Now, the question is, so the upfitter says that almost all the equipment in the Durango would roll over to a new Durango, allegedly. Now, it's a new body style, but I don't know if the frames are different, but according to him, so if we go Dodge to Dodge, if, again, because nobody could pin it down and say that it really would be that way. The crossover expense is like, he said it probably at the high end, 18,000, if they had to replace some brackets, and the low end, somewhere I had a note. I don't know where I put that. Had a little sticky note attached to something somewhere. Anyways, kind of showed the difference. And the Ford, stuff in the Ford, not all of that rolls over. So I looked at a couple of different ways. So if we went from Dodge to Ford, light bar, the siren controls, the sirens will roll over. Some of the lighting, the cage won't roll over because it's a different frame and stuff. So we'd be about 24,000 to go from Dodge to Ford. Whereas the upfitting of all new equipment was about 28,000. So for 4,000 more, it's all new equipment across the board. I don't know what you guys want to do. I really don't want any more Dodges after all the problems we're having. And then Ford to Ford. So I budgeted with the idea of just going to 2 Fords. If we go with a Dodge, we could technically, I mean, we could drop the number some. I don't know. Like, I just really not happy with Dodge right now. So I don't know. It's oh, here's another thing right here. Yeah, so the low end, if we go Dodge to Dodge, it'd be about 16,000 for the upfit if we can move everything from one to the other. I don't know that I would hold my breath to that at this point, knowing it's a newer vehicle. So I don't know. We can try it. Just know that I wouldn't say 16 is going to be the bottom end. So we can. Anyways, thoughts, questions?
I got some on the personnel side. So on the personnel side, the difference I see between numbers here, so we're gonna need some clarity,
Where you at?
which is which, the personnel for PD. Because what I'm showing between what we've got in our budget book compared to the sheets you provided, I have a plus 13 grand on the wages side, plus 1,000 on the FICA side. But then I see a minus 8,000 on the insurance side and a minus 22,000 on the retirement side. Which
So-
actually shows a minus 16,000 overall if I.
So your retirement and your insurance, we don't pay for, because, so in the 25-26 budget, that's with 14, so 12 sworn people. And we did away with one, so we won't have to pay retirement and the insurance, and that kind of stuff. So that's why those are reduced.
Because that shows an overall with the step increases of a minus 16.
Okay, so the green is with the step that we did.
But something else to be mentioned, so we're looking at, of course, the other pay scale, which would, because right now, with the last upgrade, the last change we did was for PD sworn, so that did not affect Christina, yourself, or Brittany. Right?
Christina got a raise.
Oh,
Yeah,
Christina, she's part
Christina,
of the PD side?
Yeah, so she
Oh,
got,
I thought
yeah,
she was a general government pay scale.
yeah, so Brittany's the only one that didn't
She is.
get a,
She still got
Her and Ian both.
Yes, they're both general.
Oh,
they still got-
yeah, so Ian, so Mossifus in the purple. So all the purple on this one are general government.
Okay.
I did not up Brittany when we did
So,
all.
sorry. were they in the figures you gave me for the pay scale adjustment? These 3 positions?
No.
They're not included in that.
If you're adjusting the general, like, cause
I
that's,
didn't think that they should get another 6% on top of what they are.
I'm just trying
So
to
I
figure
didn't
out where
put it
we're at
in.
here.
I didn't
Okay.
assume that you would want to put it in there.
well, they're not getting another 6%.
Well, we're proposing 6%
That's
pay
what
scale
Chad
adjustment.
is.
I'm
Oh,
proposing.
He asked if I put that
We need to
in
catch up
his
for the whole rest of
numbers.
the employees, because they're all
Right.
behind as well. So then that's, I guess, that complicates these numbers is what that.
Yeah, so, yeah, the significant increase that I'm looking at was Brittany, because of what she's doing for the community. Like, she really saves us a lot of money, and I guess I can't express how much help she's done for us. in Saving,
No, and I'm not
like,
questioning, I'm questioning if we do a 6% pay scale adjustment, how we handle things. To fit
Gotcha.
into that pay scale.
yeah,
Because
I'm not privy to that one, so I don't know how to
that's
answer
what I'm
that.
trying to think of.
Um,
I mean, because like I said, overall here, we got a 16,000 reduction. If we're looking at this, between this one and this one. Which would cover those changes right there. But that could get tricky figuring out where they fit into that pay scale at that point, because if we're adjusting the pay scale, then we're gonna adjust those numbers across the pay scale. So then we have to look at where they fit along inside of that.
so, okay. You're looking at 6%. So, but you didn't include them in what
Yeah, they're not in the budget.
her
figures,
numbers. Trying to think of how to. Okay, so like,
I just look at the scale. I'm sure there's one that's close, but it just could be, these numbers could be minorly adjusted because of fitting them into where that box actually aligns. Because I'm adamant, we should not be moving, nobody's pay should be outside that pay scale. We should be fitting inside one of those boxes.
Yeah.
Keep it.
and all these are within. So, because I have a copy of that, so like Brittany, Hawes, Mospus, they're
Right,
within.
at current levels, if we do a 6% COLA adjustment to the pay scale, it's gonna change all those numbers.
Right.
So it might just, these might be, what I'm saying is it might have to adjust
All right,
slightly.
so like,
because finding, after we do an adjustment, there may not be a 24, 23. box.
so, and I'm just gonna use Christina, right? So at 6%, it's $1.42 increase on her. So.
Well, it sounds like they already got the 8% we just did.
So I'm
So
just using
What we'd
this,
be looking at here would be just giving them a step,
yeah, I'm just using it as an example.
but then we
So
have to see where that aligns with that box.
19. Actually, it's probably easier to just go to here. So at 40. 28. So just as an example, Christina's position, if it's a 6% on just a green, at the town cost, it's 86. So it's like 3,000 some more, just
But
as
we
an
wouldn't,
example.
like I said, if she just got the 8, I assume she did not. So if she just got the 8%, then we're not gonna add 6% on top of
Right.
that. But the 2% step would be appropriate.
Right.
So that, just what you have for a 2% step and what a 2%, where it's gonna fit into that pay scale box might alter. So
No, I get it. Anyways, that's a short of what I got for you. I worked pretty hard to get 77,000 less, and with the 2 open positions, like technically, we might need to be a little more on the personnel side. But if that's beyond, because I didn't know what you were doing on that. So if we end up onboarding somebody with some experience, whatever. So, anyways.
So you're saying if two new people come in with more experience, it wouldn't necessarily be that, where the green is or the red, it could potentially be more, correct?
So, right, so again, right here.
Mhm.
So with, now, like, I don't know if she'd get, like, if we onboard her, like, if she has to get through the background, all that. So-
Right.
So if we bring her on, she'd be roughly at a 3184 level because of her experience. So we give 1 year for 2 years experience, and she's got roughly 7 years. And I'm just, for a budgeting purpose, put that in there, because until like, she may not get to the background, I don't know. And we may hire Alana with no experience, which would put us back to 2953. So the original,
Only if I can have K9.
right? So if you look at this one in the book versus this one, you'll see without GIN at the 2957 start, right? So that's what I budgeted initially that I gave her. So, and I just updated this yesterday. This was the stuff. But anyways. Anything else? Oh, in the back of this, so, CAP, there's a letter from CAP on the back end here, because they're asking for, I think, $3,000. I guess, I didn't put it in my budget. But it's something we've every year contributed to, so there is that, I guess. So, child absent project.
Well, I think, like I said, with the difference between the two sheets is a minus $60,000. So if we do implement the pay scale adjustment, that $16,000 will cover these differences for the ones that are on.
So if we do, anything for CAP or whatever, where does that come out of?
So it's a donation essentially. So anytime that we had a case up at the daycare not recently, parent claimed kid was being molested type thing. So CAP is the specialist that does the forensic interviewing. So because they don't charge us, they don't charge anybody, they're a nonprofit, and we utilize them that way. So we've just, since I've been here, we've been donating, and I think long before, we've always been donating.
Where does that come out of? Do you know? Do you guys know?
Off the top of my head, I thought it was dues and subscriptions.
Yeah, I think,
I don't think we need to make an adjustment for it because
yeah,
these numbers are based on full staff. There's actually zero chance you're gonna be full staff for the entire year. So there's gonna be money left over. in
Yeah, no, I
wages
just was-
that could
Yeah.
compensate.
I'm not saying, I
yeah,
definitely need to donate. I just was curious where it comes from.
yeah.
I didn't know if it was a
Like-
special spot.
Yeah, I think take it out of that. I didn't budget the 3,000 in because knowing how things were in budgets and money and it's tight. And so I said, well, I'm gonna leave that up to y'all to decide that. But we do use them a lot.
I've got chicken chips or
I couldn't tell you how many times we've been over there this year. We've been there a lot just in the last 4 or 5 months. I think we've had 5 cases that
Bonnie.
had people over there. So.
Okay.
I did bring a
Do you
little
want a cookie?
pamphlet if anybody had questions and wanted to
It
go
looks
through
like
it.
there's
It kind of
chocolate chip.
talks about them.
You want a chocolate chip? Give me back those. Those are my snack. Can somebody reach a chocolate chip? Yeah, don't make the squeakiness. Did you not show you one?
Window lady says.
I hope you don't mind my finger. not having our after school snack.
Yes.
Yes, very much so.
We looking for opinions or what? How are we doing this?
So I do have a question before we get there. So if you had to, we did this with fire, what's your 1, 2, 3 order as far as needs now?
Needs now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't have to do a radar sign necessarily. I mean, it's just something we've been looking at.
So like, what's your number one? 2 cars.
2 cars.
What's your number 2?
Radars. So we need to replace radars because they're not certified. And I'd rather buy the new ones than fix these old ones at this point.
So would the radars be considered a one-time capital expense? Or what I'm getting at, is this something that will potentially go on these ones are out, the new ones in, kind of a thing, on a rotation?
I didn't put them in capital expense. I just put them in equipment because
Okay.
I view radars as equipment. That's why I put them in there. I could tell you the lifespan on those things. I mean, we could have a monster hailstorm. We have a stop sign out here. I don't even remember what we paid for that thing, and for some reason it stopped flashing. And quite frankly, I don't have the energy to go figure out the stop sign because that's kind of a public works thing. So
Okay, what's your number 3, if there is one?
it's all operational right now.
Okay.
I mean, we gotta have uniforms. We gotta have evidence supplies. Like, really, the radars and the cars are my things.
What did you say those electronic radar signs run?
Between 3,500 and about $4,000 for the decent ones. Like, it's something I've been looking at. Like, they have a use. Like, they work. And so part of me felt like, let's try one on Curtis since that's our main. I just, again, minus our new person. So like, we're running 5 people, and I've got 2 in training. So like, there's one of us per shift at best. And half of my day today has been in meetings, so I'm not out patrolling. So if we had something out here, until we kind of get through things, and even in the future, it kind of helps, hopefully, with keeping the speed down. I mean, my day started at 4:00 this morning with Buford waking me up over people stealing shit out at High Thomas. So I probably won't get home until 7. So, and if nights are busy, I'll get called back out tonight.
No, we definitely need new vehicles with how everything is breaking down. Bye, honey. See ya.
I went with Dodge because, sorry, because they were cheaper, and they were working fairly good. It's this building. Even Short Prairie over here was noticing issues this morning. So I don't know, so it doesn't always pay to go cheaper vehicles, I guess. And I'm not really happy with their warranty. They're like, nope, we're not paying it. And I'm like, seriously? Like, this has been literally sitting at a dealer all this time, and you're going to say we're not covering warranty? So I just struggle, and Fremont has been such a mess for this last year. Ruertz has been great about getting our stuff in when we take it down. They don't charge as much for labor. Every time I'm down there, they're always talking about how many people from Casper are taking vehicles down there now. So I don't know, it's frustrating to have a Dodge dealer here and have these issues with them. One of the units that was over there, the latch on the hood, I'm pretty sure they're the ones that damaged it because it wasn't fucked up before I went over there. I just don't have any way to prove it. But it needed cleaned and oiled a little bit, so it wasn't latching, and so they slammed it. So now there's just a little bit of a crease and a crack in the paint, but I don't have a way to prove it. And it took me a little bit of lube and that's just fine. I don't know. So I just don't like Fremont anymore. So, anyways.
Anybody got any more questions for Chief? Well, thank you for your time and
Okay.
effort.
Not to leave, but this building makes me ill, so I've been coughing since I was here this morning. So,
Thanks, Mike.
all right, thanks. Thank you. All right.
Teresa had the window lady on the way.
So we wanna decide what we're gonna do with this?
It'd be best to do it now.
We just can't make any
No,
decisions.
we're not going to, I mean, this all has to go voted on and be all that. But we have to get solid numbers on what direction we're gonna go. So that's what we have to do.
Biggest questions on the vehicles.
We need vehicles. Everything keeps breaking.
That's because they idle out here for hours on end.
I do believe we ought to change that policy, and I
24 hours
I
the
think
There
vehicle
was
sat out
one-
there
One
running.
that got forgotten.
24
they all,
hours.
when they go on, they don't ever turn off.
Why?
Because they
Because,
wanna get in them quickly and
and
go
go,
and
yeah.
Okay, I mean,
stuff like that, so.
again, I
think
just
we need to
was,
change
I
that.
mean,
That's a policy one.
There was
24
one that was
hours.
out there.
And the explanation been given me is, in the summertime, they need to keep the air conditioning going for those computers.
yeah, I mean, I get that. That's where we're just curious. We'll
Okay. And in the wintertime,
keep it warm.
You
keeping
don't,
it,
if the computer's off, you don't have to have it, but if the computer, you can't leave the computer on with the car off, it's gonna get hot. But the heat doesn't bother the computer when it's not turned on. At any rate, that's a policy.
So when they, in the summertime, they turn those off. Does the computer shut down when they turn their vehicle off?
It usually, with most vehicles, there's a timer. So it'll stay on for 20 minutes or something like that and then shut off. Is usually, I don't know how their configuration is, but that's the standard.
So it times out, shuts off, and they get back in, started up to go. How long does it take that computer to boot up and be usable?
But it would be a minute or two. Depends on the computer.
Well, don't those computers have their own, it has their own battery too, just like that has a battery. And if it's on the docking station, then it's being charged. If it's not on the docking station, wouldn't it be on its own battery?
Yeah, when, if the battery's cut off, it can go.
Right.
So it would depend upon settings on the computer, sleep settings and things like that. But it's a policy change. I mean, I don't know, that's not something we're gonna figure out right here. But I do think it needs to be looked at and addressed because
No, I
the idle time is
agree
just
with
not
you there.
efficient.
Well, and the issues that are happening with the other vehicles that are being idled forever too.
I mean, if that's the case, I'd rather go to a shared vehicle system and not the
Yep.
one-for-one.
So is there a particular reason that we don't do the shared vehicle and they just stay here instead of the officers going home in those vehicles?
It was
Like, is
push
it,
Casper did
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Inconvenient.
We'd lose people.
Yeah, but we always did, up till maybe 7 years ago, we had shared vehicles. So it was a thing Casper did and pushed forward in a,
Thinking that
Effort of
things would be
saving money.
safer and be
but I can
safer.
guarantee you, if you look at our
Better
costs and
taken care
expenses
of.
of 7 years prior to this and the year now, it's not a cost savings. If we go actually look at the data, there's no way. So,
But some people
That would
thought
be
that it
one of
would,
those
yeah, that it would be a safer thing, like
it's a
safer
perk
for the
is what
area
it is.
because, yeah, a perk
Nobody lives
because
here.
there's,
So all we're doing is put police cars in Casper. There's none of the cops live here. But it's a perk. They
I thought
drive
only
their
one
cause
did.
home.
Did we
At
lose
one
him?
point in time, he did.
Okay.
He did.
Okay.
And there may be a new one that lives here.
It's, right now, they gotta take their vehicle home and bring it back.
right, but they're not driving it around. at
I
home?
don't know. I mean,
I don't know
technically,
that.
some places do, but I doubt we do, but I know, there's been argument of, if they're driving that car, they're ready to respond. But that may be something we have to look at, but like I said, that's not something I think we're gonna rectify right here.
No, but we definitely, with what's going on with these vehicles, we
Mhm.
need other vehicles. That's not a question. We need new vehicles.
So where are we at on the total that,
For the PD.
yeah,
The only thing we dropped was $480.
Mhm.
Yep.
So the only difference is the personnel difference that I have between this sheet and this sheet, which from my calculation shows roughly $16,000. I didn't do the math down to the dollars.
And this is the only sheet I've ever seen, so I have no idea about
Yeah,
this.
so I'm a little concerned that we'd have to verify all these numbers to make sure that it all matches up. So, but, I mean, I don't know where if your numbers was based on 11 people.
Had no
Well,
input on this.
no, you didn't do any of these numbers. Oh, gotcha.
He doesn't like how I do it.
Well, I would think that we need Lexi to run the personnel numbers, all the personnel numbers, just the same as we did every other department.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So that we can have firm numbers, because I wanna make sure that it is the lower, and if it is the lower, then we have that money looking at to apply towards the pay scale adjustment. But
I can agree with that. So,
I mean, we do have to look at here, so what he's got Brittany here is totally outside of that range. That's a $3.37 uptick, so that doesn't match any numbers we've got. Not that it's a whole lot of money, but that's there. And then also, I think Mike's is not valid because in the last one, I know Mike didn't get it because he couldn't propose himself a raise.
Mhm.
So he's in the same position with the others. So in my assumption, he should be, that pay scale adjustment would adjust him too. So not what he's looking at a 2%, it would be a 6% adjustment, which is what we're talking about for the whole pay scale. So that number would be a little different than what's here.
without that adjusted, I don't think we can do anything more on it.
Yeah, I would almost recommend that we take all the stuff we've done and the changes we've made, including looking at this. I think the 2%, I had always in my mind, the step increases everybody was gonna get. So that doesn't give me pause at all, everybody moving to 2%. I agree with Lexi, the fact that the general government pieces already got the last 8% we just approved. That means they should not be getting the 6%. We're looking at making an adjustment now. So
Agreed.
that I say just sticks with the step. And then Mike should be adjusted the full 6%, but then it's, the question to me is the Brittany. That's, like I said, it's outside the realm. It's $3.37 at a part-time person who we don't pay retirement for or medical insurance for. So the overall dollar amount isn't all that much. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I can't even imagine we have somebody doing that job for $13 an hour, to be honest with you.
I hear you there.
So I don't disagree with that either.
No.
That's where I'm at. But we've got so much variation here that I'm concerned of where our numbers and our overall number is. So I personally myself would like to see this sheet updated with all the changes we've made and reflecting a 6% pay scale adjustment in my mind.
Just a 6% total. So where everybody's at now, you want the 6%, just that figure?
I think so. Well, I think they would move up. Well, for the most people, it's gonna be 8%. It's gonna be a 2% step, 6% adjustment of the pay scale. Because what we're talking.
That's what I was asking, if you wanted the 2 and then.
But
Yeah, I don't
not
think
for our
it's-
officers though.
No, because we already gave them.
Right, that's
We
what I
already did the
just,
same thing to them.
that's,
So we're just catching everybody else up to what we brought them. But they should still get their step.
no, I agree. That's where I was just double checking that you weren't.
So in the
Doing on
end, to
them.
me, it is that the PD would end up a little bit higher than what we're looking at with the general. Because because the PD got an 8-point-something% already, plus they'll get their 2% step. So they'll be at 10-point-something. If we reduce a 6% adjustment to the pay scale, plus the 2% step for the general employees, they'll be at 8.
Mhm.
So there'll be slightly reduced value of what we gave to the police department. But I feel pretty good about that, catching everybody up and getting us in
Yeah.
line. The trick will be, like I said, some of these adjustments, those numbers wouldn't be exactly the same. Because basically a 6% COLA adjustment to the pay scale, so we have that 20-year scale just split all the way up with all the different grades. There's hundreds of boxes on there. Every box on that would adjust 6%,
Mhm.
every box.
Right.
So that would show, make it where they're currently at would be a 6% bump, and then everybody would have their 2% step.
Do you want me to include in the numbers the 25,000 Mark was proposing for raises to the part-time and relief drivers? Because that's not in the,
I think it should be a separate number that we look at and discuss myself. I mean, unless we're gonna make a decision that, yes, we're gonna give that. But again, I don't know where we're at overall number. And then we need to talk what your thoughts and where your thoughts are of the capital expenses. So are we gonna look at the capital expenses as an overall budget amount for this fiscal year? Which is gonna be very difficult then to see if we're gonna hit the under revenue budget. Or are you looking at capital expenses as a one-time purchase out of
Because
reserves?
we got all three major departments are looking at major capital expenditures. Fire department, police department, public works. And we don't have money to cover all those.
Right.
So we need to figure out who needs what the worst and what we've got to cover that at this point.
So I guess if that's
So-
the case, I mean, so what's the fire capital expense, 210 grand?
if you go look, they have a sheet with just that. You go to the fire department budget, the last page in their section. Next one.
But they have like what they really need, their first, their seconds, all that stuff.
So again, so I would still think, I mean, I guess we need to decide as a body here for first is whether we're gonna go with pay scale adjustment.
But with these one-time purchases,
I
with
think it needs
these,
to be.
those don't come out of the same bump, correct? They are different.
No, not necessarily. I mean, so we have a budget for this year. And you can do it one of two ways. You can take capital expenses out of that current budget and revenue, what we currently got, or you can look at funding your capital expenses out of reserves. Out of it's not this annual budget. But that you're gonna be careful, because now you're dipping into the piggy bank at that point in time. So,
To
or
where-
we look at, like you're talking about, is all right, we need to get a number of where we're at. So we've made all the cuts, all the adjustments to the budget, except for, I don't think we did.
There's a
any
couple
on the
more
fire
that we
side.
haven't done.
We
And
haven't
then,
done general government and
Okay.
community center.
but then we take that number and then we say, all right, here's our starting point. Now we address these capital expense, whatever's left, we address these capital expenses with that remaining amount of money.
Do we want to
But I-
finish out the budgets here? And then I can get the numbers together. Do you want to meet before council meeting Monday? And go over everything?
Yeah.
Or what is everybody's thoughts? Because it will take me a bit to go through and
And I've got to get
make sure
notification.
But I
that
think
I'm,
We need to decide that pay scale adjustment, so we know what our number is, where our starting number is.
Yeah.
Because then we take whatever's left over, because I think we cut 170 grand or something like that out of budgets there yesterday. So even with the pay scale adjustments, there'll be some left over. Not this amount, the 200 grand we're looking for capital expenses, but there'll be some left over. So,
Yeah, let's go ahead and finish the rest of the budget.
get them.
run those numbers. And then we'll get back together and,
On Monday?
yeah, I don't see we can do it before Monday.
I'm very adamant about pay scale adjustment, in my opinion. We are far behind, and we
I
already
agree.
did
And I
it for
can't argue, I
portion of our
can't
employees.
argue it.
And I don't
I
know
agree.
how I can go to the rest of our employees and say, yeah, they were important to catch up, but you're not. So
I agree.
that's my opinion.
So I will put together a new sheet for our summary with all the changes we've made and the 6% pay scale adjustment and come up with a new number.
Now, I think we finish off our departments, and then if we got some time, we might visit the fire one here because we really didn't talk adjustments there.
Okay.
Right.
Do we want
They-
to plan on a work session Monday then, before your council meeting?
Gonna have to.
Yes.
And what time? Because I've got to get that posted tomorrow.
Wanna do 5:30
I'm
and then we
thinking
have until
5:30.
7?
I can do that, yeah. I do have a question for everybody that's been kind of picking at my brain. How was the determination made that work sessions don't qualify as meetings? Where did that come from?
You mean as far as like a
Like a special meeting
paid
for pay?
meeting or a
Oh, yeah,
special
I mean,
meeting?
we're compensated for meetings, right? How did this get justified as it's not a meeting? And in that case,
Because it's
then-
not called a special meeting, and if it's called a special meeting, I've got to think about this because we don't have that many special meetings. Like if there was an emergency meeting, then you have to back it up with a special meeting. Work sessions are basically work sessions where decisions aren't made, and then your council meetings. And I think part of it has to do with your council meetings are set by ordinance as far as meeting times go.
But who came up with it? I mean, because we're abiding by the open meeting laws for this meeting. So how do we say that it's not a meeting? That's where I'm getting at. To me, that don't make sense to me. So if you say one, that it's not a meeting, then we shouldn't have to abide by open meeting laws.
We would probably have to.
Just something that's popped in my head that didn't make
We
any
would have to
sense.
look at our ordinance, we'd
So-
probably have to look at the state
State statute.
I was gonna
statutes.
say it had something to do with state statutes. I remember when we went through with trying to do the raises with that, it was very old verbiage and it was one of those because they haven't been up in so long that work sessions just didn't count
Yeah,
but yet if you were, if you were a city, then work sessions do
Like you said,
count.
'cause we're like the only ones that don't.
Right, and so because we were a town, and that was one of the things of, if we were a city, we got paid for all these other things. But because we're a town, we don't get paid for that.
I know that's like committees and things like that, that's the case. But
Mhm.
Again, to me, the wording is per meeting. And we abide by open meeting laws and all the other things, so.
Chad, I'm sitting here kind of chuckling because I basically asked the same damn question almost 10 years ago.
Did you? Didn't get the answer, huh?
Probably more than 10 years ago.
Not a deal.
And I don't remember what the hell the answer was, but I was convinced that that's the way it is. And I've never thought of it since you just brought it up.
I know like your
That's why
council
I'm sitting here
meeting,
chuckling.
your council meetings are set by ordinance, those are specific.
Right, but I don't think there's anything that says an ordinance requires on how it's set to be paid.
Oh, to be
What's considered-
paid?
What's considered a meeting.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying is, these are not considered a meeting, so.
so you're talking on the pay side of it per se?
Yeah.
And again, that's ordinance. It's how it's written in the ordinance. Regular meeting, which is I believe defined in the code book as regular meeting is the
Defined as
second,
regular meeting. and-
second and fourth Monday of each month.
Well, that's defining the meetings, that's not, the pay would have to specifically say you get this much per regular meeting.
Per
Not-
council meeting. I'd
No,
have
well,
to
council
look-
meeting leaves it
I'd-
open to what I'm saying. It would have to be regular meeting.
And I would have to, yeah, I don't
That would be the
recall
rules.
how it's worded exactly.
Not a deal. I don't mean to get us off topic. It's.
Yeah.
It just popped in my head while I was sitting here because I was thinking about it the other day.
I got a chuckle.
All right, what do we gotta do
Anyhow,
left?
where we at?
General government, and I will say it's just followed suit through the years. That's how it was always done.
Yeah, I know, but I don't, to me, just because it's how he always does it, doesn't mean it's the right answer.
So where are we at? Sorry,
Jim?
Yeah,
general
whenever
fund,
people want to
General
change it.
general government.
Yes, 1043 series.
Something we could have a meeting and talk about.
Government.
Yeah.
Alright.
I dropped the unemployment down a little bit.
Oh, there it is. Jeez.
It took a huge jump last year, but it dropped quite a bit down this year. Dues and subscriptions, there's another page in your packet. And in that dues and subscriptions, there's, it's gonna look like this. It kind of breaks down. Everything that kind of falls under that dues and subscriptions.
It's the third page.
Yeah, third page behind the one you're on here. Keep digging.
Other way.
Yep, yep, other way.
Nope, this way. Yeah.
Yep.
3 page,
Pass
no,
that one.
just
One
turn.
more.
Yeah.
One of us.
Too damn many pages.
It would be before the clerk tab.
It's not a tab, it's just go three,
Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm here. right there.
There we go, yeah, that's the one.
Trying to push mine upside down. Okay.
Any questions on that one?
So we pay WAM $3,800 a year,
Membership,
and what the hell does that get us?
all our
Lobbying.
emails,
Lobbying.
lobbying, notification, yeah. I mean, everything that you see that comes in from WAM.
Okay. Just never had to think about it that way.
Yeah,
All those dinners you get, that comes from somewhere.
the Three Trails is the subscription that we pay for each year for all employees and their families for counseling.
Mental, yeah. Assistance.
Part of the mental health, yeah, that we provide. I did up on the lodging and meals. I did up that a little bit because we've been pulling some of the employee awards luncheons. That $750, that's where that came from last time. Office supplies, right here, it's a little low. We just ordered or just had 10 cases of paper brought in, and usually towards the end of the fiscal year, I kind of make a list of what all we need to get us through the month of June, and pens, paper, folders, and things like that. So I held that at the 2,500. Printing, I held at the same for the time being.
So that's significant. We've never hit that mark.
No,
No. And so we could drop that back.
drop that back to 15 or
Yeah. Telephone, I upped quite a bit. Currently, our telephone, I looked today, our telephone is at 15,005. So I upped the telephone to 17,500. The water, sewer, and sanitation, I left that the same. We'll just kind of, I'm taking into account the possibility of rate increases, but I'm also trying to take into account that maybe we will be watering less frequently, as we're trying to be, conservative with water. So I left it there. Electricity, I bumped up because that continues to go up. Natural gas, I went ahead, that's kind of a shot in the dark. I did drop it $1,000. We did have a really mild winter, but I don't know what the future holds for that. Postage, I bumped up $500 because of the increase that's taking place in June, I believe it is. First aid supplies, we need to look at our kits and see what needs updated. Repairs and maintenance, you'll see those breakdowns on that supplemental sheet. I did budget in there $25,000 for carpet for the town hall. The carpet is 26 years old and just looking at doing an upgrade.
I mean, it's not that bad a shape.
No, it's
It's
not.
not. It's like, I was
It's
like, really?
held
It's
up.
25?
It's
That's
held
where I
up
was like,
good.
that's-
Yeah,
held up
it has held up good. Building maintenance, I budgeted 20,000. Buildings aging, some of the repairs that I was wanting to get done this year. I'm still waiting on a contractor to get me some numbers for some handrail repairs. I've held off on replacing the toilets in the building because of everything else that we've had going on right now. There are some toilets that I would like at some point to get in and replace. I'm sorry, not repair, replace.
Yeah, the handrails out front really need it. They are.
They are.
Are
I am working on my third contractor.
rusted
One-
through. That's the word I was trying to find.
Yeah, one contractor came, never gave me numbers. The other contractor never returned my phone call. And the third contractor that I'm working on right now, I'm waiting for him to come and take a look and give me numbers. And I've not yet got, so, yes, our handrails need some work.
What's everybody's thought about pulling the $26,000 carpet out and put it into the capital bucket?
25?
26?
26,000. So let's
Oh, I've got 25.
Where are you guys at? I'm lost now.
for the repairs and maintenance.
And breakdown.
Break down on the same third sheet. You got here.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the carpet's not in that bad a shape and we're,
And it's one of those things, I mean, I believe the repairs we should do, not get farther behind on repairs.
right.
But the carpet is something that we can decide whether we have that money left in the budget, is my thought.
I mean, it's old, but it's still in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't do it, if we push it off another year, is it gonna kill us, is kind of where I'm at.
No, it's not
You're
bubbled,
talking
it's
the
not failing,
carpet.
it's not coming apart, it's still in decent
We've
shape.
got some seams that are
The whole building
the
So,
whole upstairs.
upstairs.
Yeah.
so on those seams, really, you can have someone come in and they put a latex on it. They're gonna trim it down and they're going to re-latex and put it back in. And it's just a quick, not necessarily a quick fix, but all of this stuff is a continuous filament. So it's just like a sweater. So you pull one strand and you're going to get a line that goes all the way across.
Right.
And so as long as you keep the seams like this stuff, if you keep the seams trimmed, then as long as the vacuum doesn't catch it,
Right.
then it's fine.
Right.
So as long as those are all trimmed down, but you just have a carpet person come in and trim those, and really, push comes to shove, I can come in and do that. I mean, I did that for years with my dad. My dad did floors for, heck, I think when he retired, he was at like 45, 47 years, something, I don't know, a long time. And so I did that for years, and that's something that to just push things along and not have to do. And I mean, really, the carpet's in good shape. I mean, if you
It
come in
is.
and just fix the seams a little bit, be more than happy to do that just to help keep it looking nice.
Mhm.
Well, and to me, this is a perfect prime example of a one-time capital expense, so. Then we throw it out with that, where we're trying to figure out where we got money, where to put it.
Mhm.
Everybody comfortable with that?
So we're just gonna eliminate that?
We'll just drop 26K off. and then,
25?
It says
26.
Ours says
26.
26.
And this, your breakdown says 26,000.
Oh, mine says 25.
Whatever ours says 26.
Ours says 26.
Oh, okay.
Carpet.
Well, it's
26,000.
25, because his price came in at 24,454.
Okay, so 25
Mhm.
then,
Yeah,
and then, like I said, we can add to
I
that.
updated somewhere. and-
So minus 25?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then we can just add it on that capital list that we'll discuss when we do all our numbers.
Let me find where we're at. It was under
400.
Oh, yeah, you know what, I upped it here, so then instead of 51, it would be 25.
So we reduced it by 26?
Yeah.
All right, back to 26.
So we're reducing that to
25.
25,000.
25.
Because I've got 20,000 in there for building maintenance, and then I've got 5,000 for security cameras. I don't know. This one camera out here, the price that I've got was $1,500. And in talking to, it's a gentleman that used to work for you, that works at one of the tech places that's involved with either the Cisco. He said, anything tech is 10%, figure 10%, cameras, roughly 15 to 25% increase. He is with, it was the renewal for Cisco,
Well, we're talking about Brandon
Cameron.
Cameron. Oh,
Cameron.
it's Converge One.
Yeah.
That you need the bid.
The cameras,
When you go out, so anything I would, with them, so.
so the
Those
camera,
ones
we did
prices.
get a bid from High Tech, and it was 1,500 from High
I
Tech.
just say when we get down to it, I would just go with that one assessment.
Professional services, I've got budgeted at through 39,000. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped.
Mhm.
Janitorial expense, she's reduced her price on this building because the PD hasn't been downstairs. So she isn't charging us full price there. So that's why that number is down there. Also factored in that, is carpet cleaning, shampooing. I want to get somebody in here if we didn't do the carpet, and then window washing. I don't know who the people that I've had do the window washing in the past, they're no longer doing it, and we was getting a pretty good rate at it, so I don't know what it would cost today.
So with the less expense from janitorial for over here, is that an increase in janitorial for community center?
She hasn't, because they're basically in one room.
I think, well, I
Okay.
assume it's gonna be.
I know,
somewhere,
yeah.
Would be my guess.
Custodial supplies, this is a couple months old, this $5.99, and I've got I just got a thing last night where I've got to order some more toilet paper, but because we shut off spending the end of May, I usually go in and try to make a big order to get us through the month of June and into July, so.
So you're
On
gonna
that
use
one,
it.
could we go to 2,000?
We could try it at 2,000. The year before it was 1,687. Prior to that, it was 3,000, and that
Okay,
might
never
have been. But I mean, yeah, we can try 2,000. If you want.
I mean, historically, it's only gone over that once.
Yeah, and I would have to look to see what that big spend
Yeah, I guess
was.
there was a special circumstance there.
The next
So
one.
can we jump back up? I'm sorry. With the 18,000 one,
Mhm.
for the janitorial, obviously right now it's lower, but we've never had even close to that 18.
We have a new lady now.
Oh,
The custodial, we was paying, I think it was 15,
75 or something.
something like that, and this one is 17 or 1750, but then with her not cleaning the basement, that price has gone down, but she is locked in at 1,700 if she's cleaning upstairs, downstairs, the town hall and the community center.
That's where the increase comes, because we got a new lady.
Yeah.
Rita left.
perfect.
And with any luck, we're gonna have her cleaning back downstairs pretty soon.
I like your optimism, Ernie.
Hey,
So did we decide if we're
We're
gonna
making
drop the
testing,
custodial
just put it
supplies
out
to
there.
2?
Yes.
Okay.
gotta be optimistic at this point.
Absolutely.
The next one, 1043, 450 for professional services, that's part of your sheet here. This has got the Wyoming Financial in it. They're the ones that handle our health benefits. The audit, the website fee, the drug pool and testing fees, IT is in there, and then our document shredding. And the total on that came to the 39,300. The next item is 1043, 530. This is equipment expense. This covers the bus and the shelters. Liz will be here. I've got to confirm with her, but when I talked to her a couple weeks ago, she wanted to be at the council meeting Monday night to give an update on the link, the transit, transportation system.
Also, didn't we have some damage done to one of our structures?
Yes.
So that's going to be that we'll have to
Did
fix.
the wind blow?
No,
No.
it was vandalized.
I think Dan already did. It was something stupid.
It's
Like
crazy and,
$17,000 or
Mhm.
something
yeah,
like that.
and,
Mhm.
and
We
I'm,
just paid to have it fixed.
Fixed.
well, we haven't paid for it
Right,
yet. The roof is what,
When the guy
Oh,
kicked
the
in.
guy that
Yeah.
kicked in all the glass.
the roof is what costs so much. The roof alone was like 13,000. It was for a glass or a plexi. And so, I put a call into Liz last week and she was out of the office. I'm waiting to hear back from her. The roofs at the Aspens, the roofs on those shelters is a metal roof. And Dan and I were talking that why don't we just see if we can go back to that rather than this really expensive roof that was like 13,000.
Oh, yeah.
So what all is this 45,000? Is that
Well, at the time when I did this, I was waiting for numbers from Liz, and she should be giving those numbers Monday night for the bus, and then any expenses on the shelters.
Do you want me to lock the doors or no?
No, you gotta, if you could leave them unlocked, please.
Make sure you put the cash drawer away.
Generator switch, I threw 5,000 in. At the time, I did not know where expenses were on the switch. We had not gotten those numbers back. Since then, I do have those numbers from Atlantic.
Where are you at?
equipment
Same
expenses.
line.
Okay,
Yeah,
yep,
breakdown.
yep.
Atlantic Electric, and he gave us a quote of $3,500. And that's probably something that we need to try and fix now because it will not automatically switch over. You have to manually switch it.
Well, we're currently way under that spend right now.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
Calm them down.
no. Is that the one? Which one? I'm trying to remember where maybe it was repairs and maintenance. Okay. Equipment expense. Yeah, but we haven't paid for the bus yet. They haven't billed us yet for this year.
Right, but traditionally, I mean, I don't recall the bus being anywhere near that number. And traditionally, it doesn't look like it's been up there if that's what the bus has been paid for.
I thought that the bus was right around 38,000 a year.
That's what we paid last year.
And we haven't paid for it this year.
Well, that would mean that was the only thing we bought last year out of the equipment expense was just paid for the bus, 'cause the total spend last year was 38,000.
So we could take the 5,000 out for this next year.
I think we'll pay for it out of this year, is where I was getting at.
Right. Get the switch
Yeah.
done this year, because I really hate to wait
Yeah, I agree. I think we need it
until
done, but
July.
that's what I was
Yeah,
hoping
get
that
it
we
done.
would have enough money now, we could
Get
get
it
it into this year, and then we can reduce this next year by 5K.
Yeah.
All right.
So we can remove 5,000 off of that. That would make it 46,000. And then this will be the last time you see the mail stuffer or new mail machine for $1,000.
Shouldn't that one be
Sure.
1,300?
Right.
No, we was going less on the general
We use
government.
it less for general government stuff. So we put a little portion of it in general.
Legal advertisement, I bumped it up to 4,500 because as you can see, we're well over what we have budgeted. We've just had a lot more going on with planning and zoning. And then advertisement for grants, public hearings and whatnot. Senior services, I've not paid that yet this year. That will be an expense coming out here in probably the next month.
That's consistent.
CATSI I took out because those numbers are now all pushed into the numbers that go to the city of Casper for the bus services.
Sorry. Community
There's a big
events.
one hidden up underneath there, yeah.
Community events,
Yeah, what is that?
15,000. We buy candy for parades, just stuff for community events.
We're at 4,700 spend right now. But we got 15 grand budget.
And 4,800.
If we do any money towards fireworks, it would come out of there.
We're doing fireworks?
Sometimes Casper asks us for like money.
Donation, you know.
But we don't pay.
Donate to their big cause.
And that's probably where, rather
this-
than us doing our own fireworks this year, we talked about
But that's what goes into there. If there's any
Um,
community events.
buying flags and whatnot and decorating up the
Halloween
community
decor.
center and
Yeah,
town
But I
hall.
just see we
Could
got
we go
one
to
year
12 on
spend
it?
that's 11 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something new that kind of came about.
Maybe. I'd even go down to 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So
I'd go
we
down
can
a lot.
Certainly adjust it.
Cause
I
that's,
mean, we're not
those are,
spending that
we
much.
don't
in-
have to. I mean, these are those things, I mean, we're tight times and these are those nice
Mhm.
things that we add on. So
Chop it in half, 7,500.
whatever you guys are comfortable with.
Can we meet in the middle at 10?
I'm okay with 7,500 or.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
Can't sneak anything past you, Chuck.
I know, I was pushing it apart.
I know, I
I'd
was
see the
like,
numbers
damn
up there.
it, I mean, shoot.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, the better we do here, the
Mhm.
better chance we can get through some of these capitals.
Property insurance, that's kind of a stab in the dark. I left it at the 7,800. I'm not real sure where that's gonna wind up. I did get the numbers, on the, omission error liability insurance. We're looking at, I wanna say it was roughly $13,000 out of general government. But what we also can utilize in here is if there's any accidents or anything, we pull our deductibles out of that as well, and our deductible is $1,000.
Do we need anything else in the office?
The office equipment has not been spent ever.
No, it's like, I'm trying to think if we bought, gosh,
I mean, I gotta go back 5 years and we
I
spent
mean, like-
$95.
telephones or,
Mail stuffers.
well,
Yeah, that's a
hopefully
different line.
not. Something general for the office, but we can definitely pull it out.
I mean,
And we'll just rent it under,
we've never spent it. I mean, if we do have an expense,
Yeah.
we can do office supplies or equipment, yeah.
so we just strike that one. Tony?
Yeah,
So I didn't need to pull you back.
that's okay. Maintenance service agreements, that's our, copier and Cassell.
And mail stuffer.
No. Well, yes,
Yes.
mail stuffer, yeah, the service contract for mail stuffer. I was going back to the purchase of
Oh,
the
no,
mail
no,
stuffer.
no, 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 no.
We already got the mail stuff for taken care
Reimbursable expense.
Some of the charges that have wound up in there is if we've wound up with like property abatement, it's been charged
We're
to
gonna get
that, and if we get that money back.
of. So we put it in reimbursable
Okay.
so we can.
But we
kinda
haven't
track
done
it.
anything for a while, but I just kept it at 1,000.
Okay.
We wouldn't have some utility.
That would be the only thing we
All right,
would.
well, that's a $40,000 savings on that one.
Yep.
Well, depending on if we add the carpeting to the apples.
My budget, I don't know that there was really any changes there.
Which one? Right past it.
Equipment expense, I've got 1,500 in there. I haven't had to spend it, but that would cover like printer, calculator,
Computer.
computer, monitors, things like that. Maintenance service agreements, that's got our Cassell in that, our software for that.
There is too much to clean up on. Not much room.
We run pretty bare bones. So.
Next one is community center. I bumped covers our maintenance agreement for the community center. I bumped up the water, sewer, and sanitation a little bit. Electricity, I bumped up a little bit. Natural gas, I left the same. Repairs and maintenance, I bumped it up a little bit. The building is aging and we've had to have some repairs up there.
These little TLC.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and when the appliances over there,
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah,
have
yeah,
any
especially on the
units.
commercial side.
Yeah.
Well, and the system that operates the HVAC system is is a system that was put in by another company, and one of the monitors or something had gone out. And so we called that company out that had put that system in, and they automatically quoted us $25,000 to replace the whole operating system. And so I ended up calling in the people that we normally work with, and they figured out a way to get around that. But there could come a day where that system fails and we will have to replace it.
And that will go under equipment expense?
That'll be a special request. That's
Yeah.
not something we can even budget for. That
We
system-
don't know
replace that
where or
system
when.
would-
She's just putting the number out
Yeah.
that it's a,
That would cost replacing of that system. That could be up.
Basically, the operating
Somewhere in
system.
the future.
Replacement of that would-
I'm hoping
what
that
it doesn't.
it doesn't
Distant,
happen.
distant future.
It turned out that part of it was a power supply that was replaced, and they were able to get back into the system. But the company that had put the system in years ago came out, and without really digging into it to see what was going on, just automatically said $25,000 to replace it. So. Where are we at?
Janitor,
Janitor, I left at the 6,000. I do need to get the carpet cleaned and the windows cleaned up there. I could maybe cut that back because we haven't hit that 6,000 mark.
Drop that back to five.
To 5, yeah.
Carpets and windows this year then, or
Huh?
carpets and windows we get done this year, use that money
Oh, yeah.
and over.
Depends. The center is booked
Pretty busy.
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
solid
yeah.
right now.
Can't
So
hardly kick the,
getting somebody in to do
Current
the carpet
residents.
right now.
We have to bump
Um,
it out and coordinate.
yeah, so not this
Yeah.
year.
Probably a few
Maybe
months in
glass, but,
advance.
Alright,
Custodial supplies, I will be making a pretty big order, and generally when I make a big order, I divvy up the total cost, 2/3 expense here and 1/3 up there. So I do need to make a pretty good size order there. Professional services, I'm trying to remember
Yeah, you doubled it.
off the top of my head. Oh, that's the people that come in and check the hoods and
Mhm.
recertify the hoods, on the commercial side for the kitchen.
Oh,
And if they come in and, because everything is commercial in there, they have to inspect them and certify them and tag them and whatnot.
gotcha.
Wonder Wash.
Property insurance, I took a,
Ooh, equipment expense.
Yeah.
$6,000, doubled from last year, but zero spent.
DVR.
oh, the DVR,
I don't know what that means.
the
DVR
computer for the
security.
cameras,
Oh.
security cameras.
We have a breakdown? Oh,
Yeah,
I see. I got you.
yeah, on that second page.
Okay. I got you.
And that's all gonna be dependent, I don't know where we're at on cameras. And I can't guarantee that they get the DVR replaced up there in that system, and we don't have cameras that need replaced too. Nobody knows until we can get into the DVR, nobody can get into the DVR until we replace it. One of the things that had been talked about, but I don't think it was talked about today, was that one camera system.
Mhm.
Because there was talk last
Flock
year
or
that, yeah,
Guardian.
because there was talk last year that we could put some cameras
Mhm.
that would, be on the building, and it would be all part of that system that
Right.
the PD was talking about.
Mhm.
So I'm not real sure where you want to go with that. So I went ahead and threw the 6,000 in there for now. And that's all I've got.
The maintenance and service agreements.
That's gonna be your HVAC.
Okay.
We've paid it, it's just not reflected in here yet.
Only 1K there.
That's pretty much it.
That's it.
Is I gotta take a quick break.
So how are we gonna do fire?
Want me to call Marcus and have him come over?
Well, we would feel really guilty if we'd start whacking his budget without him having any input.
So as of right now, we've whacked 155,830
Total?
total from yesterday and today. Obviously,
Not enough
that's,
for all our capitals.
well, we've definitely,
good-
like,
We're there.
I was going back through fire and there was definitely some that we could probably move down on. But fire keeps a pretty tight budget.
Yeah,
It was one of those, the main things with fire, I feel that it wasn't necessarily, it wasn't here, but it was those one-time expenditures that we were trying to
With your paperwork.
figure out.
Yeah, you
'Cause
can
they're-
walk, I guess, I'll give you that.
Cause his main was obviously the
Okay.
replacement of the structure helmets, replacement of
Um,
bunkers,
I don't
new
think so.
bunker
I can make
boots,
copies.
and the PM with all
Thank
radios.
you.
So that was a
Okay,
have
thanks.
to, they have
What's
to
the
get
red
those.
kind? Of some
And
chips.
then the
Garden salsa.
second would be the roof replacement
Actually,
because of, they had, well, they've been having roof leaks anyways. And then they got the skylight and then there's been more leaks and so
The
there's,
leaves keep moving.
yep. And so it's one of those that they were really needing a new roof. But they also really wanted the transfer toolbox
Mark's on his way
combo,
over.
like in number 2. And then the number 3 was the barrel sauna plus the, yeah, it was barrel sauna
And then a decon
and then a,
shower
yep, a decon shower system that they can put in as well.
for when they-
number-
And that was gonna run 23 to 30.
He said 15?
We're not gonna make it that far down this list.
Right, I know, I'm just giving you
Yeah.
what numbers he was giving us.
He's on his
And
way
then-
to Jeff's.
What's that?
He's on his way.
Okay, perfect, yeah. And then the women's bathroom was number 4, and then the generator for the station is number 5.
Oh, Mark.
Hi, Marcus.
You had a piece of cheese pizza for me.
Oh, dang it, I'll give you a cookie.
I got chicken chips.
2 days late.
cookie.
2 days late.
You're 2 days late.
They laid it all short.
Oh, I got her chicken chips.
Oh,
Only $1?
So these are two separate things.
Mm-hmm. We can go hold this was for him, for Chad. Ada.
You can have me.
So what my proposal was on giving the part-time and the,
So this is part-time people?
yes, the part-time people. So it's, I was just showing
The
the,
relief drivers go off.
we haven't picked up the pay-per-call of the part-time hourly rate in like, since we designed this 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
So they've been at the same rate. So I was just showing that it would be a two-step increase is what it would be. I would go from the entry level to the step 2 for those. Well, okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, it's the same thing we're looking to adjust for everybody else.
right. We just haven't adjusted these guys with the last couple of years. So they're a couple of steps
Yeah, we
forward.
haven't made any adjustments to that pay scale since it was created.
I got my own right here. Thanks.
I would like it back when you're done.
Okay, here you go.
We didn't think it was fair to attempt to make cuts in your budget without you here like everybody else was.
Oh, thank you. I should have brought mine with me.
I told you I was gonna bring
We
it.
got extras.
Yeah, but I have all of my stuff.
I have your. Marcus, have anything?
So I know I'm getting up on time here, so. I got some
Sorry.
quick question stuff.
Shoot.
Registrations, we currently are sitting at a spend of 375, we got 5,000 budgeted, last year budgeted.
Okay, where we at?
So- So that,
210.
I explained, the registrations, Leo had put the registrations, the money for the interns, the $24,000 the year for the interns into registrations.
Okay.
They were being paid out of training. So I moved that 24,000 from, because if you look at the training, we went from 5,000 to 29,000.
Next thing I was gonna ask about.
Yes. So we just
Shifting.
put the funds in the right budget line.
Okay. So is 5,000 appropriate for those registrations? You've only spent
Yes.
$375.
Yeah, it's,
If they attend any training or a conference or something, that goes up quite quickly. But I don't know if you wanna keep it at the 5,500 or,
Did you say if they attend any trainings?
yeah, like go to trainings like.
Won't that go under the training one? Under
so that would
250?
be, they would be
If they're
registration,
registering for it, it would
Mhm.
be registration.
register for a class, which we have a few of them out there. So I know that some more is gonna come out of that. But I don't know that 5,500 would. I mean, if you look back at 24, 25,
Right.
there was only 1,300. If you look at 23, 24, it's 22,000 again because that's where the
Yeah.
interns came out of.
Yeah, so I mean, it's hard to gauge that one because we just don't know one or the other. So that's where I was just getting that is that 5,500 appropriate for that.
It might be a little high. We could probably bring that down some.
Where would you like it to bring it down to?
I wouldn't go any less than 2,500. Or, yeah, 2,500.
I was
How about
thinking
3?
I would say I was thinking.
3?
For which one?
Can I write on this? Is this extra copies?
Registrations.
Registrations,
That's what mine is.
Absolutely, sir. I knew you would need my copies eventually.
And then I assume so that the training we're gonna need to keep there because we moved your
Right, and
interns over to there.
And yes, we have been bumping up against that. So if you look at the 15,843 that's spent for this year, only 12,000 of that is for the interns. So that extra 3,843 is money that we spent already in training. And I know that Cody's got a lot of things in his mind for upcoming training, so.
So your annual spend for your interns is 12 grand,
24.
24,000.
It's 12 a semester. So we paid that first in July, January, we
Gotcha.
first paid the first, yeah.
So you just really got 5,000 in training outside of the intern.
Yes, yes.
Gotcha. Office supplies, you've not spent much so far this year.
No.
Do you have an anticipated spend in there?
Nothing anticipated.
Because we're at 2,500 again this year, so we're well
we-
under this year,
Mhm.
and we got 2,500 for next year,
So could we go down to like 1,000?
at 1,500 maybe,
I'm good with that.
15? Okay.
So we're down to 1,500?
Yep, so that's $1,000 off. Sorry, yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
So the printing, we've never been close to that.
500. You never even hit 200.
So could we go to 200 on that?
Mark, what are you printing?
I print everything over here. So I
Okay,
know
no
we
wonder
did.
it's so low.
FedEx and
I know in the past, we've done a lot other printing. We used to do all of our, like our signed refusal sheets. We had those printed. There were a lot of other things that now are paperless, so it's all online. I know Matt and I just did business cards, so that 45 will go up a little bit. But I had 500 of them for 10 years and I didn't go all the way through them. So now I have 500 for the next 10 years. So I don't know that. So, yeah, I think going to 200 would work for that.
Okay.
Sorry if I'm long-winded.
No, you're good.
The reason we're so far, I don't know if you've looked at the safety equipment and uniforms, why we're so far over on that one is because of all of the changeover we've had over the last year with new people and bunkers and boots and badges and nameplates and replacing. So
The next one I had questioned was postage.
Yeah, me too. That's what I have marked.
So that, the most we've ever spent tonight is, $96 we're at right now.
So we go 150 on that one? Just because postage is potentially going up?
Yeah. Or even
We're
200.
even 200.
200?
yeah, we could 200.
200.
I think most things you guys mail out anymore, you put in our bins. So
Right,
postage would be if you took a package or something.
right, yeah.
To UPS store.
And it just depends whether or not we need to send equipment in to be rechecked. And I know like with some of our stuff warranty wise, the packs, they send us the shipping tickets, that doesn't cost us, so.
So you've got repairs and maintenance. I know you spent a lot this year, but historically you haven't. Do you have something in mind of why you put that to 6?
Well, I put that up to 6 because we were at 5 already. I know that our building is getting older and that we're having more issues with different things. And that's probably why that 5,000 was, this year it's higher. I don't really anticipate anything.
But if we don't get the roof fixed, we could have some.
You know, we've had some issues with our furnace, hot water heater, the
You just had a
downstairs
plumber out
heaters.
that's not in this.
Yeah, the plumber that
Oh,
fixed
the
the
doors.
urinal, the
He had
doors,
some
yeah,
issues with the doors.
so.
We don't.
And I bumped that up strictly because this year we're already over. And looking back,
And
yeah,
we're-
we haven't gone over 4 in the past.
Right.
So, but that was why I bumped it up.
Yeah,
if
and
we
this
wanted
year,
to-
I'm pretty sure we will be over 6,000
Yeah.
even, so,
Yeah, I just don't know if that's a outlier.
yeah.
So then caught my eye was professional services. I know we're way higher this year, but historically, that's not been that high. So is that,
Backgrounds and stuff,
oh, because your turnover?
Yes.
Probably not much we can do there.
interns and they all.
Now,
have to go through
I am planning, and I do need to still talk to Mike about it, but I am planning on, if we're bringing somebody on full-time, we'll still run them through, the service we've been doing with Aaron. If we're bringing on like interns and part-time volunteer folks, we'll try to run them through RPD to save some of that cost, is what I'd like to do.
So you still think you need the 13.5?
What else does that include?
Drug
Backgrounds and,
testing. Drug
Drug
testing,
testing.
your medical director, if you go to his page. The second page, he has it kind of broken down.
Okay.
The medical director, interagency dispatch center, and then background checks.
okay, so the dispatch center is still at $1,000. That's the Casper BLM dispatch center. And then, the medical director, is that what, that's about what she's been billing, correct? For being it's the new,
Typically anymore, it's like between 250 and 500 a month.
okay,
So at 500 a month, it would be 6,000 a year.
okay. So, so the reduction in that would be the backgrounds for the,
Yeah, but
The
then how much
65.
would you save on that if you go by using the PD?
well, I don't know that the PD is gonna charge us to do it.
Right.
No.
But I mean, you're not
So-
gonna do all of them, so.
Right.
You know,
I don't suspect that we would be doing maybe 1 or 2 a year from him.
okay,
So, and I think the last one was 850 that we did, do you know?
750 or 850, I want to say.
so. Could we knock that 2,500 instead of 6,500?
So he's actually got 1,088 to make that
Oh,
6,000. So, could we just cut it in half?
Yeah.
Be 32,
3250?
3250. On that line,
yeah, just that line, so.
right?
Yeah.
So that would be 11. Alright, where the hell was I?
Okay, where,
So what does that make us do?
Services.
So on this one up here, when
Okay.
taking that 6,500 to 3,250.
How much? 3250?
Yeah, reduction of 32.
Yeah, so that would bring that 13,500 down to
250.
10,250.
And then your vehicle expense, I know we did get up there one time, but
I would actually, we wouldn't cut it, but reshift it down to equipment expense.
13.5 down to what?
Oh,
1025?
13.5 went to 10,250?
10,250?
because most of the stuff over there, I pull it out of equipment expense.
I'm just, I mean, so you pull other stuff out of it?
The only thing I pull out of vehicle expense is their 2 command vehicles.
And beings, both of them are newer, that is why we've gone from, 17,000
Yeah,
in
way back then.
21, 22 to
But with what-
957.
We could bump that line item down and shift it down into the equipment expense because we we are gonna go over that 30,000 this year. If you look in here, way back where we're at.
Yep.
So I would adjust it, so it wouldn't change it overall, but
Right, but that's,
Yeah.
do we need 8,000 for the vehicle expenses? For those repairs?
Probably not, especially like I said, we do
I
have
mean, I know
the,
we can move it, but it's
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
What about the
So-
Yukon?
the Yukon, the Tahoe,
Yeah.
which is older. There might be a plan in the next budget to try to replace that with a vehicle that can tow the UTV.
Hmm.
So like a chase vehicle, so. But that's not this budget, that's next year.
so could we drop that to $5,000?
Yeah. And then you wanna put that other 3 into the 33, into the equipment expense?
I think she's gonna move the whole $5,000 down, but just the reduction is what I was looking at.
Right.
Equipment expense. There. Medicare insurance. Talk to me about software support. Is that back here?
The insurance one, didn't we move that one down to 7,500?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Insurance?
Yeah.
7,500? All right. And you got 10,000 on software support? You currently spent 2,500.
To be honest with you on that one,
Insurance, we went down 7,500.
Oh, that's your reporting
Mhm.
software.
your image trend and then the EMS one. I'll go get an actual total of where we're at right now.
yeah, so we have,
That's new.
Like the yearly.
The new
yes,
software,
so
right.
the image trend, the active 9-in-1, and then the hand heavy. The hand heavy is,
And then my EMS that I have to pay for.
yes.
You tell me probably not, we're not gonna probably get anything there.
And
Yeah,
to be honest with you, that one, it was a carryover. With a lot of this, it's like, well, I'm looking at the numbers that we had the last few years and what Leo had on there and kind of where we were. Some of them I bumped up because I was prorating it to, well, this one's already at 4,000 and we only have 6,000 in there, so I'm gonna bump that up a little bit. But a lot of this was, well, that's what it was, so that's what
Right.
I'll put this year to.
It just doesn't look like we've spent that much.
Well, and a
That's-
lot of those are annual expenses, so they'll probably come out before the new
Sure.
budget.
Past years, we haven't hit that mark.
Oh, yeah.
We've never hit that mark. So I
Um,
mean, this new software may be more expensive. but
It is. The adding the hand heavy to it was a little bit. And then I think active 911, when we got that, added a little bit to it. I don't know why 23, 24 was $600 compared to the other ones. 2021 was
discount.
8. That's a pretty good discount. I hope we get that again. So it seems like it was just that one year that it was so low.
Yeah, really low, but even our high years, 8,300 is the most we've ever spent, which was 5 years ago.
And I know we did add hand heavy to that. And we're actually looking at a program, and I didn't think about it until we left the other day. We're looking at a program to assist with our EMS training. It's an online program that ties directly into our OWLS, which is the waters or the online reporting. It keeps track of all of our training so that we can research. And that program that he was looking at is another $4,000, but was figured out after we had this made. I had just forgotten to bring it up the other day until we left.
That's what I'm talking about. No, that's budgeted.
Okay.
So I would really like to leave that 10 there.
I'm assuming Alexis will get back and tell us that's where we're gonna be. I already added up my stuff, so it looks like we dropped 12,800. Cause I assumed we weren't gonna get into there. So,
And the really cool thing, I'll point out, that I thought was really cool, and I said because cheaper, and it's not necessarily cheaper, it's just a different wage. Due to the loss of Leo and then Matt coming in and then Dan leaving and bringing somebody on, we've saved quite a bit.
It's a lower cost.
It's a lower cost. I like the way you say that.
No, we figured we probably weren't gonna get a squeeze any out of that,
No, cause it's
So-
the CAD software and then,
so we just
our EMS software is
stuck with what we've
considerably
got,
higher.
which was $12,800. Reductions. Cool. Got a little,
Said 12,850?
$12,850 total.
Yep, for fire.
Thank you for coming.
Not one of our best, but not one of our worst.
Thank you.
You gotta add the wages in there, and then it'll be one of the best. Did you want this back?
Yeah, I do actually.
I wrote on
Well,
it.
no, not that one.
Oh, that was yours?
No, that was just an extra.
So,
Do you want this back?
No, what I wanted back, you gave back to me.
Okay.
Thank you.
The pay scale one, with your per call and stuff, that's good.
Okay.
Hey, weird question on that. Is it going to 50 because that's what another one is doing?
Yeah, that's what Casper.
Mills, bar none. But yeah, we're trying to
Okay.
match what other people are doing. Plus it's, they haven't seen any kind of an increase in that in the last 3 or 4 years, so.
there was a hefty increase last time we did do that.
Was it?
Yeah, it was extremely hefty last time we did that. So, not saying it isn't time for adjustment, as we all know, we're, 10% off of what we were when that big study was created, so. But I think we need to look at, as we look at our capital expense, from what I heard from the beginning of this conversation, that we've got a chunk up of here of have-tos.
Those were the
So,
have to up
I
top.
think we need to look at that as
And
our
then-
first funding on the capital side, the have-tos. So, well, thanks, sir, sorry for
Oh, no.
calling you up.
I was hoping
Last
I would
minute,
catch you
you
before
know.
you left.
For my first budget meeting, I'll do 2. That's cool.
More practice.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Oh, and then, so then we also, so we ought to have on that capital list, we ought to look at
Okay.
this proposal.
Mhm.
We've got Dan's proposal as well.
Which proposal?
Oh, I saw that.
Oh,
That
yes,
person
yes,
was
yes,
off
yes.
there.
Stealing.
Say that
We
again?
should have
We
taken
have the Dan,
two.
we have this proposal for increasing the part-time guys.
Yes.
We have Dan's proposal for, and,
Better yet, take one of each flavor.
but was all enterprise, wasn't it? That new employee was an enterprise fund.
I wanna say it was.
So that is a totally different, that wouldn't be in the capital, that would be, that should be covered by what we already cut in
Yeah.
enterprise fund.
So that would be.
So that one should be an easy one. Because all our enterprise funds cuts that we've got there, will cover the potential, pay scale increase and then still have left over. So that'll make that decision a little easier. Cool. I know I'm missing something, but I can't think of what it is.
Shoot me an email if you do.
I gotta reset up my email so I can get them. Alright. What are everybody's thoughts?
So Mark's musts are 42,000. Those are those top 4 things. And then his second was a roof. Mike's asks are the cars and then the radars. And then,
So I think we can also, not that I really wanna go down this road again, but we can also get creative with the cars. We used to go into leasing where we spread that payment out over time. And didn't have to come up with the initial one-time purchase, which may be something we, if we really wanna push that in, might
I
have to
hate
consider.
leases, but
I know, but
sometimes.
fact
It's
that
a
we-
lease to own, so
Right,
once.
so we're not
I
actually
know.
paying extra on it,
Basically
it's not a bad deal, but what it does is it spreads that out over a few years, so
Yeah.
that's gonna impact our next upcoming budgets as well. But
No,
I think we're gonna
understand.
be in a position where we're gonna have to pick and choose what
But
gets
if we
funded
do
and what
that,
doesn't.
then we can only do so many new vehicles
Right.
Yeah.
at a time.
And it impacts the ability for next year and the year after to replace vehicles,
But
as we're
right
spreading that
now,
out.
he's needing 2 vehicles.
Right.
If you do a 3-year lease on that, we're committed to that for 3 years.
I mean, I might,
And
But
if we
he
get a good
has,
year
He has like
where we can
Well,
get
really.
ahead,
There's a total of 14
vehicles they have right now.
we don't
but
have that
not
many
all
people.
are running.
I know, so
But yeah. but
where are we, I would like to know where we're at. Because if we have 7 or 8 not running, like, I don't know.
So we have 11 officers, Mike, animal control. So 13 people with vehicles.
Well, no,
One,
Ian's
two,
out of
three, four,
misplaced.
5, 6,
Huh?
7,
Ian doesn't have his
9,
vehicle.
10, 11, 12.
There's an animal control vehicle. We just have one engine in it.
It's
He
not
just
working.
said it.
It's not working.
Transmission.
It's not working. It's been,
But
I've
we
seen it,
have
I've
it.
seen it on
This
the
is
Still
not
doesn't change the number of vehicles we
Right,
have.
right.
So
Yeah.
we still have a number of vehicles.
Yeah.
You said we have how
and
many
he's looking,
vehicles?
he's looking to
in the fleet
get
right now?
rid of 2 of them and
14,
Yeah,
so
2
that
new
means we
I
should
mean,
be able to go
that's,
down to 13 total.
that's counting the white Durango that's
So
the
maybe
undercover
we look
car.
at doing 1 vehicle this year, do a trade-in and 1 vehicle instead of the 2,
Yeah,
or?
we have 13 positions.
Right, so that's how many vehicles we should need. So if we have 14,
But-
then we should,
Well,
we're
13 positions counting like,
so we're 2 positions
That's counting
shy.
everybody.
but that's
and
covering
so
full,
records
full
But
doesn't
let-
have
oh,
a vehicle.
no.
That's
Oh, that's,
counting that we
I'm
have
sorry,
those.
right,
Yeah.
right. That's my bad. Yep, records. So 12 vehicles, mind you, we have
Technically,
2
less
open
enough, we don't have that many
positions.
in our whole position scope. But
So
I would hate to shortchange
I
that.
think we have more than 2.
we have 2, well, I was just more going off of that, but yeah, so it would be 11 positions because you are correct that it would be, I just was counting, but then yes, I forgot about,
We have 11
records.
officers, right? Because we just went down from 12 to 11 as approved officers. And then we'd have Mike and,
No, that's included.
that's including Mike?
Mhm.
Okay, so then we would have the animal control officer.
And then
um,
records.
Records have the car?
No,
So I'm still down to 12 cars.
oh, I'm
That's-
counting people.
How many cars do we have to have? If we have
12.
14 cars,
12.
then we have 2 cars too many. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we've got 14 units.
Then we have 2 cars too many.
Right, so maybe we could up how many we're trading in, or?
Or even if we were able to, I mean, potentially, because I know that some of the older vehicles are costing money, even if we were able to get the 2 and we'd push something out on a lease, that might mean we don't have to buy as many in the next 2 years because we can have basically reduce the fleet by 2. So something we ought to look at, because
Yeah.
I'll try to be optimistic and say that we can afford all the asks, but I don't think we're gonna be there. So we're gonna
I don't
have to
either.
choose.
So,
I guess it'd be
On
interesting
our-
to
on
know
our
what's
bu-
actually running right now.
That's why it's like,
so a question for you,
what's running, what's completely like,
Dead.
budget wise, when we lease a vehicle,
We did
how
that for a
does
while.
that affect the budget?
We only have to do the year's payment in the budget instead of the
so it's
overall.
So you
Two.
figure out 1 year
you pay
You
it twice
basically-
a year.
total, okay.
So if you put a
And then
3-year
next
And
year
then
loan,
you
we-
extend that,
cut that
that's
120
an
by a
automatic
third or 2/3.
for the next 2 years, okay.
And
Just
so I
something to
know
think
that
about.
this
I
was,
never liked it because it really,
It limits you in
limits
the
us
long
because
run.
now we're behind. So every time we lease a vehicle, we've got those payments extended out. So as we're doing our budgeting, we have that, oh yeah, no, we're still paying for last year's cars.
Yeah.
So it became tricky, which is why we kind of shifted to, we got the money, let's pay for the vehicle.
but at the
But this
same
year, we're
time,
not
with
gonna have the
how,
money.
with how much we beat up vehicles, I like the idea in general of leasing of just, because we're already beating them up. We're already
It's a
doing it.
lease to own,
Yeah,
so
we don't get it
we're-
back.
it's a
We don't-
purchase.
We still own it at the end, we're just spreading that initial purchase. out
Yeah.
I
rather
don't
than
want
paying
to
for
do
it.
that way. Let them do it the other way. Give it
I
back
don't
in
know if
3 years.
anybody
I
would
don't know if
lease
we
us
can.
something at all.
I don't know if we can
No,
because
they
of
wouldn't
exactly
do it.
what you say though.
No,
Because they
I
don't
get
want
what
it.
you're
They don't
saying,
want
but
it.
it's a lease to own, it's
Right.
basically a
They're not
loan.
stupid, they're in business to make money.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess let's see, I gotta run, but let's see we'll see where we're at Monday, but I think we're gonna end up short, is my guess. Have to make the tough calls.
So what time on Monday? 5:30?
5:30.
5?
5:15 is the
Down
fastest I
in
can
an hour and a half.
That is
No,
just
that's
going
fine.
straight from there to here.
5:30.